Oh my goodness.
You gotta wait for everybody to get in before Joanna gets in, I guess. She's on time. God bless her.
She's on time.
She's right. It's like 10 seconds to 8.
This girl's a pro, man.
I'm gonna message her.
Fun goal. I wish I could get this.
Yeah, it's much better when you see everybody. You gotta.
I know.
Otherwise, you only see.
The person who's talking.
Right. Exactly.
I had problems with this before.
Joel is connecting.
Where the fuck is Tommy?
He's
Joanna's in the green room. Are you ready?
Up his girlfriend's ass.
Hey, Joel.
That's a good. I'll tell you, man. I thought my computer was hijacked after one.
Yeah. Dude, you gotta get an iPad.
You might want to not bring that up.
Regular work computer.
Right.
It'll fucking kill everything.
Right. Now I know. I need a second.
That must have been scary when the voice said, "Your computer is locked."
Yeah, I thought it was one of those ransomware things where they're like try to take all your money, and could be.
We'll find out soon. Where's Tommy?
I don't know.
I'm giving him 30 seconds.
That's too much.
Tom's gone through the whole catalog, I think.
Oh my God.
You can only show up on time.
I watched a few and then I was like, oh my God, this girl is like hardcore.
She's a good girl.
She's a good girl. All right, here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Did you get the gallery view, Glenn?
No, I can't get it.
Oh.
I don't know why. I have it on, but it won't go on. I don't know. Because my phone's a 7, and that's, not enough.
Hello?
Hello?
Joanna!
Oh.
Why can't anyone see me? Can
Hold
you
on.
see me?
We can't see you. We can hear you. Is your video turned off possibly?
Yeah, you gotta look on the bottom.
Look on the bottom. I'm on my, let's see. Okay. How do I get it? Start video.
There you go.
Welcome.
Hello.
Excellent.
How you doing?
Hello.
Hi.
I'm good. How are you? I
We're
brought
great. We're great.
a special guest.
Oh, a very special guest. Now, what's the guest's
Special
name?
guest.
Who's that?
There's another special guest. Ramona, you want to come in? No, she's more shy. Let's see. Is the light okay? Let me see. I can turn it down. Hold on. Put it on a different setting. Let's see. Is this better? Okay, that's better.
Yeah, that's better.
Great.
You look great. Well, welcome
Thanks.
to a group of fellow Riverdale alums.
Welcome to Riverdale
Yeah,
Alumni Weekly Cocktails.
This was really unexpected. I'm still a little bit weirded out by how somebody got my phone number, but that's okay. We're good.
So,
Yeah, well, Eric's capable of doing that.
our producer, Eric, is very capable. So well, first of all, we'll introduce ourselves in a moment, but let us explain to you how this all happens because you're probably curious.
I am.
So you've got a group of Riverdale class of 80, the year of your birth, which I think is kind of
Okay, the year I was born.
Yeah,
Okay.
Right.
yeah. And we've been doing this weekly Zoom cocktail thing. I don't know if you have a cocktail. We've got Sex on the Beach going tonight in your honor.
No, I've got a water right
All right,
now.
we'll work the water.
You know what?
That'll work.
We'll work the
I'll
alcohol.
go get something. Yeah. Hold on.
What's
Go
happening
ahead.
in the
Great.
water?
Good
I'm
idea.
gonna grab a White Claw.
Perfect.
To my daughter
Oh
drink.
yeah, right. That's another drink we have to have, and we have like my nephew on.
That's right.
Wait till we get
All right.
get the U.S.
All
All
Attorney.
right, great.
Want to be part of the team? I got a White Claw here.
Great
Oh,
job.
perfect. Well done.
Cheers.
5:00.
Cheers.
Right, it's happy hour out there, right?
It's
Yeah.
5 o'clock, and here in LA, it's 5 o'clock exactly.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So we've been doing, since COVID, we've been doing these weekly virtual cocktails, which has been a lot of fun. And it's turned into, what interesting Riverdale alumni can we try to get to join? And now, I don't know if when you were in high school you had this, but there was like the Riverdale High School Athletic Hall of Fame up in the gym. And there
I
was
do remember
Bill-
that, and I remember.
You remember that, right? So
I remember Bill Parcells was in there.
exactly. Well, there was
That's
some
how I even know who he is.
Right.
in
Right, well,
1978. Neither did we. Okay.
we never heard of him. We didn't know
That's
who he
right.
was.
So there was a basketball player up there named Billy Paultz. It was a pro basketball player. We got Billy to join us, Riverdale class of 66. So in doing all this, you know, the obvious is to kind of get online and say, who are the most famous Riverdale graduates?
Right.
And Joanna, you are top 3. Congratulations.
Actually, she's number 1.
Is she number 1? See, that's a big deal.
Bill Parcells. She's much more relevant to Bill Parcells.
Oh, we don't even want Bill Parcells.
No.
That's so funny.
Right. So
Yeah.
one of our attendees here,
That's-
Glenn, has a neighbor who is a producer for Barstool Sports on Sirius XM.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and he's
Cool.
like,
okay.
and he can just kind of track down phone numbers and people. That's probably
Okay,
how
my
it's
friend,
done. So
well,
you connected
Asa
with Eric
used to
Fenton.
work at Barstools.
What's that?
Asa Akira used to work at Barstools, another girl in the
Okay.
industry. She used to
There
work,
you
I
go.
don't know.
He
There
probably
you go.
knows it.
So we'll introduce ourselves real quick. I'm Mike Terso, class of 80, grew up in River Edge like you, still a Bergen County guy. Go around the
Right.
horn, guys. Go ahead.
I'm Glenn Cavada. I am an Oradell guy. I'm the only Oradell guy on this call, so I'm, in the minority.
That was that you were from the richer side of town.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I was like
Yeah.
just as poor as everybody else. on
He
this
always
call, believe
claimed
me.
that it was always bullshit. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, he's a rich kid. I'm Tom Joyce, a River Edge guy. Now live out here in sunny LA. So I think I am the only one on this call that's not back in the general old neighborhood.
No, I'm in
And
LA.
you. And you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I'm Joel Backrack. I'm from River Edge also, down by, I live in the area, Taft Road, if you know the area.
Yep.
That wasn't where I grew up. I live in Park Ridge now. Didn't go far.
All right. Well, I
And
gotta
I'm
see how to change the view so I can see all of you. Let's see.
Yeah.
I can't do that either. I've been having a hard time with that myself.
Look
so.
for gallery.
I know
Get
there's a.
gallery
I've done
view.
it before.
I'm also from Riveridge.
Where is it? Well, that's okay. I guess you. No. Did I just mute? Okay.
No, you're
Okay.
back.
All right. Whatever. I'm
Yeah.
just not gonna see all of you.
So first of all, congratulations on being the most famous Riverdale High School graduate. That's kind of a big deal.
Well, thank you. That was, I guess that's really why I did all this, is to
Right.
just be the most famous.
Absolutely.
Yes, finally, I can cross that off the list.
Now you can go back to a normal life after.
Yeah.
Right.
Whew, okay. Yeah, I did do an interview once for a famous alumni thing of Rutgers, because I went to Rutgers.
Yep.
And that was pretty funny, because like Tony Soprano went there, and like King
Right.
Cottrell and a bunch of other people went there.
Right.
So I was not the most famous Rutgers graduate, but I was in the top 10. So it's nice that I am.
Pretty good.
the-
Yeah.
Pretty good.
That's impressive.
Here you're number 1.
Isn't there
There
a
you go.
Hall of Fame for New Jersey? Isn't there some sort of Hall of Fame we can?
There is. There
There
is.
There is.
I would love to be in some sort of New Jersey Hall of Fame. I'm in several other Hall of Fame. There is, it's in, there is like some sex shop outside of like close to where I went to college in New Brunswick. And I don't know, they had some Hall of Fame they put me in. I don't know what it was called, but it was some kind of like New Jersey something. I don't
Well,
know.
I don't think Sinatra and Springsteen were in that one, right?
I think Sinatra was. I think
Maybe
Sinatra
Sinatra.
was. Well, we'll have to nominate you. We'll nominate you for the Jersey Hall of Fame.
Let me know. I will
Yeah,
head on
'cause you
over.
You can't do it yourself, so we'll have to do it. Okay, got it.
Yeah, it would look pathetic, I guess, if I did it.
So you go to Riverdale. You graduated. So if you were born in 80, what did you graduate? 98.
98, yeah.
98, yeah.
98, yeah.
There were probably no teachers, or maybe I doubt it. Were there any teachers
there
that
was
crossed
some.
over?
There's got to be somebody.
What do you mean that crossed over, like from when you guys were there?
Yeah. That
That's
might
hard to
have been
believe, but
like.
there must be
That
somebody.
Mrs. Milch was there. The English
Oh my
teacher.
God, I do remember Mrs. Milch. I do remember her.
She
The
was
English
there.
teacher.
Yeah.
She was great. I remember her too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
She had a
was-
small
I think,
porn
you know what? I
career,
think she
nothing
was like
big.
my favorite teacher. She was really wonderful.
She was very
great,
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was pretty young. Well, she was young when we were there, so that's
Didn't
why
she
She got
become
married.
Mrs. Milch when we were in high school? Wasn't she?
She
What was
was
her
something
maiden
name?
else, and she got married into, she married when
Right.
we were
Yeah.
in high school.
That's right.
That's right.
I
Wow.
forget what her maiden name was. That's a good question.
Tom, get on that.
We should
How
get
did you
her.
guys, like, I
Her first name
barely
was Sharon.
remember.
I know that.
Sharon, that's right. Sharon Mills.
Yeah, Sharon Milch. Yeah. I mean, I barely remember high school. I don't know how you guys, was high school
We
like the
don't.
best time of your life?
No, we don't remember high
It
school
was
either.
actually
was
middle
it.
school for me,
We
but that's
shot her a
me.
little bit.
now that we
Are you,
now
are
that
you
we
guys
can
those
talk
guys
about
who
it,
were like, everything was downhill from there?
Kind of, yeah. As my kids say, I peaked early. Absolutely.
Well, hey, to say everything was downhill would indicate that we were at some height at some point, which never happened either.
Yeah.
So
when we look
no,
back at it, when we look back
not
at it
everyone
now,
can be Bill Parcells.
That's correct.
that is correct. That is correct. So
That's
so
correct.
you you graduate 98. You go to Rutgers. How do you get into to the world you're in now? Like connect those dots.
Jeez. Okay, I mean, I did not get in when I was in high school, but I mean, I went to
Damn it.
college and then I got in when I don't know, I started a porn site my senior year of college with my college roommate. And that website was burningangel.com. And
It
that's
still is.
kind of that's how it started. Yeah.
So starting a website in I'm trying to think. So 1990.
2002. So I started
Oh,
in
no,
2002.
excuse me, when you were graduating. Oh, two. Okay. It's still a long time ago.
It's a very long time ago. Yeah. So I started it in 2002 and I actually, to fast forward this story, the company, it became a company. What started from being a website, it became like a pretty large company. And then I sold that company about a year ago. But I'm still in the adult industry. But yeah. Anyway, so that's the short
That is a
version
big
of the
accomplishment.
story.
Good for you. Really?
Wow,
Thank
that's
you.
you sold Burning Angel. That's fantastic.
What?
You sold Burning Angel?
I did. Yeah, I sold it like a year and a half ago. And then I thought I was going to leave the industry then, but I didn't.
Why do you want to do that? Who does that?
I know. Why would I want to do that? I know. I even tried. I was like, should I get like a regular job now? I don't know. It's really weird to own a company and sell it before you're 40. Like you have a lot of life left to live. And, I sold it for a very, like a pretty good amount of money. But
Sure.
I'm
not
sure.
in if I could have retired in, I don't know, Bangladesh or something, but you can't retire in Los Angeles for that kind of money.
No,
A nice area
no.
of Bangladesh.
Actually, you can never retire in Los Angeles. That's that's what I discovered.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, well, so I got like a salary to work for the company that I sold with kind of like a part-time job basically, but it was a decent salary for only 5 to 10 days of work a month. And then, I've just been doing a bunch of other stuff in adult, but yeah, I also have my own whiskey called Doom's Whiskey. I finished writing another book that's coming out next year. I have one out. I mean, I've done a lot since high school.
You're killing it, man. Good for you.
Graduated about
Making us look lazy.
God damn.
Let's just be clear. We've done nothing since high school.
Oh, no.
Let's be clear.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I wish my daughter would do what you did, but I'm not going to say that. So go ahead.
I mean, yeah, you can't all be Bill Parcells.
Right.
In
Or Billy
college,
Paul's.
Who wants to be Bill
in
Parcells?
college, at
But
the
yeah.
at the college, did you have other girls like partaking in?
The business. Oh, Russell froze.
did
He's
they
done.
follow?
In the early days, so in the very early versions, I asked a lot of girls to be on the website, most of which said no, and I really don't blame them. Thinking back on it now, like I sounded like what everybody's parents warns them about. I had like me and my roommate living in this like shitty college house with like 17 people living in it. I'm like, yeah, let's start a porn site. It's gonna be so empowering for women. And I'm like walking around after class being like, hey, let me talk to you after class, like asking girls if we want to get naked on the internet on my new website. And they're like, well, what's the website called? I'm like, I don't know yet. And they're like, okay, can I see the website? I'm like, well, it's not up yet, but like, it's going to be really awesome when it's up. And I sounded like looking back on it now, I'm like, I sounded like the world's sketchiest person.
And
If I
Joanna,
was
you
a
weren't
guy
getting.
and not a girl, I would have been like, I don't know, thrown out. Definitely, I don't know, if not just thrown out
Wow.
of school, maybe thrown in jail.
I'm sure you would have been, because I spent most of my senior year in college asking girls if they wanted to get naked with me on the
You
internet.
wound up in jail, actually, right?
And I just got parole. So
Right. And then, yeah, and not many of them said yes. But then eventually, you know what? I'm trying to think if anyone in the original days was actually in college. I think the girls we got, they weren't in college. They were like, you know, girls that I knew that lived in the
Right.
town that, like, you know, that didn't go to school, but like I knew from just friends and friends and friends in the, you know, the college town. I don't know if I actually got anyone who went to the school to do it, thinking back on it, you know, and they missed out. It was their loss.
Yes, they did.
But Joanna,
Clearly
you
they
didn't
did.
get naked at the time, did you? You didn't go on your own site, right? At that time.
At that time, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. The very first. No, you know what? I did. I'm trying to think of when I did. Yeah, I wasn't in the first shoot, so I wasn't gonna do it originally. I was just gonna like run it. But then the first thing every girl would ask me is like, "Well, did you do it?" And I'd be like, "No." And I felt like I sounded like a hypocrite.
Right.
So I was like, "Okay, well, I'll just do it," and then, yeah, and then then it'll be easier when I ask the other girls to do it.
So
And
I'm
I
curious.
didn't think, just, you know, myself at the time, like I did not think anyone would care, like, at all. That's why my real name is Joanna, you know, like I didn't have a stage name. I wasn't like, ooh, I'm gonna be like famous, I should like really have a different identity. Like I wasn't really thinking. I was like, okay, well, I'll just do it to get like the website off the ground, and then after that, like, I won't do it again, you know. But I guess I was wrong.
So you're a college senior. You're doing this. You're launching this thing, and you're
Mhm.
doing pictures. I'm just curious, like, what was production like back then? Were you doing like
Oh my
pictures
God.
like in the
Okay,
house you lived in?
It's so funny. Like I sound so old to like the young generation
we're
now.
old, not
You
you.
know, I'm still a
No,
director. I mean,
no.
18-year-old girls now know everything. They know everything. They could operate like an entire
That's right.
HD
Right.
rig, you know, they
Yep.
could do
Right.
lighting, they know everything. So back then, and it was just photos, mind you, which is so crazy that in 2002, like I had a few naked photos on the internet, and it was like such a big deal. This was before there was even
Times have changed.
videos. But
Right.
okay, so the very first Burning Angel photo shoot, my friend who I lived with, he borrowed his mom's digital camera. Because remember, at that time, having a digital camera was
Yes.
like not something everybody had.
I didn't
Oh.
even know there was a digital camera back then.
Right? No, it was like we had a friend whose mom was rich, you know, like it was like,
You
and
need
I
those.
remember actually you had to put floppy disks in the back of the camera, and the camera would take a picture and it would go onto the disk, and we'd have to put the disk into the computer. I sound like a grandma right now.
I was
Like,
just going to say, I hope you took the disc out of the phone before you brought it back to her. That's literally what I was thinking.
So that was it. And I remember the because we had to do like the high resolution version, like
Right.
you could only fit like 3 photos on each disc. So the first Burning Angel photo shoot, it was like 75 floppy disks,
Oh
like
my
sitting
God.
on my desk.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Right, what'd you do today?
So that
We
was
did this.
production.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
And you did it in the
that
computer
was-
lab. You did it in the computer lab at Rutgers, right?
I did, yeah. I mean, I used the computer lab. I mean, also, I didn't do like the HTML and stuff. I had a friend, you know, that did that. But yeah, like I did all the like coordinating and like, you know, the updating of the website and everything. I would go to the computer lab because my computer like wasn't very good. So I would like be in the computer lab, like hiding everything. Yeah.
Now, was
know.
part of the motivation back then, and even since, to, you know, I'm just curious, like as a woman, to like have control over not only a business but the business in this sector. Like I would think there might have been sort of that motivation of like, hey, I want to provide a certain environment for people.
You know, I didn't really know much about well, I really didn't know anything about the porn industry at all. So it wasn't like a statement I was trying to make, like, oh, women don't have enough power in the industry, so I'm going to take it back, because I didn't even know the industry well enough to think that way. But I did really want to start something. What it was that I wanted to start, I wasn't sure. You know, I was at the time in my life where I was supposed to be applying for jobs. It was my last year of school, and I was really like procrastinating it, like just kind of like, maybe I'll think of something next week. Maybe I'll just apply for another job at another restaurant, you know. And I knew, I'm like, I don't want to just like be a normal person. I never wanted to do that. So I don't know, the idea of just like working for myself sounded awesome. And you know, I don't know, I was like a punk chick, you know, like I wanted to do something different. And I always liked the idea of like doing something that was kind of like offensive to people, you know.
It's always nice.
Yeah.
What are the people like in the industry? Are people nice in general?
I mean, that's like pretty generalizing, but in general, look, this is my family. I feel at home in the industry, but it is an entertainment industry. People are very competitive. People are very cutthroat. There's a lot of shady people. There's a lot of liars. There's also a lot of brilliant people. There's a lot of people with a lot of,
right.
Yeah, I mean, it's entertainment, you know, like entertainment is not meant for everyone. I think a lot of people don't understand that porn can be just like any other entertainment, you know. I've met some of the greatest people in my life in porn, and I've met some of the worst people in my life in porn. I mean, that, you know, but that's, but I feel, you know, I've always been very respected here. Like, I think, and far more respected than any time I've ever like kind of dipped my toes in any sort of like mainstream Hollywood stuff. I always felt like very disrespected. And even just knowing I have a lot of friends in like, you know, the music industry, and hearing the stuff that goes on there, it's like, it's so slimy, you know. And I actually think, you know, and maybe I can't speak for everyone. I do think the porn industry is very honest and upfront about a lot of things. I mean, you have to be honest and upfront about sex. Like, I think we're also very honest and upfront about, you know, about like money and like this and that, you know, like there's I don't know. I mean, I've even found like, you know, I started my whiskey company just a few years ago, and it's been so difficult. And I've actually met way more scumbags in that industry than I ever met in porn. Like, my God. And it's like, everyone, like, everything is like so like draining on your wallet.
Do you think that you're predisposed to people thinking less of you because of the business you've been in? Or is it the business itself?
I think that, you get back in the world whatever energy you put out there. Like, I always really felt so proud of my decision. I always felt proud of my company. Like I said, from day one, when I'm this sketchy person walking around asking if girls want to get naked on the internet, like in my brain, I was like starting something wonderful, you know? Like, I really had no shame, and I just like, I really loved what I've done. And to this day, everybody in the industry knows, like, nobody loves this industry more than me. I like stick up for this industry. I get mad when I see girls talking trash about this industry that I think the industry was good to. I love it. And so I think I never cared. Like, I do know other people would look down on me. I get it in liquor sometimes. Like, when I go into meetings and stuff and people are treating me like an idiot, I'm like, I know you think I'm an idiot, but like, I'm not. Like, I'm just because my previous business experience was in porn, that I know stuff about business. Like, don't, you know.
Of course, you tell you were your own boss.
What?
You were your own boss
I'm like,
from day one.
I'm like, don't try to lie to me. Don't, you know, but I don't care. I think I've always kind of put the energy out there of being very proud and confident about what I do. So like, I never really got that energy back of anyone like scrutinizing me, both like in porn and out of porn, you know. Like, I felt like from day one, I think also because I worked for myself, so I was never really in a very vulnerable position where I like really needed a lot of things from a lot of people. That's when like bad things can start to happen, when girls come in the industry and, you know, they kind of leave home and they don't have any money and they don't have anything, and like, you know, they have this one shoot that they're like depending on you know, changing their life. And then, you know, that's when, like, when people see energy like that, they'll prey on them. And I'm not saying that's right. You know, I think I've always been fortunate enough to be in a good position where I was able to carry myself pretty well because I didn't, you know, people kind of came to me when they needed something rather than me constantly like needing other people to do things for me. Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
It's really done what you've done, Joanna, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's very few people, very few women have started their own company right from the get-go and then gone and lasted as long as you did in that industry. It's amazing.
At age 22 to start. I mean,
I did. I started it then. It's so weird. You know, like people
Nobody's
like,
done that. Who's done
Yeah.
that? Nobody, not male or female. You know what I mean?
Thank
Who's
you.
done that?
Thanks, guys. Thanks. Well, I owe it all to Riverdale. We owe it all to Mrs. Milch, really.
It's, you know, all of our success is due to Sharon Milch. I think we can agree. We've always said that, actually.
That's so funny because before the show, I'm like, I don't even remember anything from high school. I'm like, except for what was that one English teacher's name? I like was seriously thinking
That's
that.
so
I'm like,
funny.
Sharon Milch. I'm trying to remember what she made us read, but something good, something that I
Oh,
liked.
George Garvin?
I mean, To Kill a Mockingbird, I think.
No,
Yeah.
I think it was like, didn't she make us read like the S.E. Hinton books? I remember like Rumblefish
Yes.
and
Yes!
Yeah.
what was the
NLA
other one?
handbook?
The Outsiders.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Right? Am I right?
Was
That's
she-
what I remember.
Was she our teacher, like, for 4 years? Did that? No, you had different teachers
No,
every year?
different-
I can't
Yeah,
different.
even
no,
remember
I
now.
remember. I think
Wow.
I had her like sophomore year, I think. or
There's the Hawk.
maybe
Oh dear God. Oh dear God.
You have
No,
any? You have any friends from Riverdale still from those days? Do you still keep in
You know,
touch with
I
anyone?
didn't stay. Like I said, I like wasn't like a fully formed human yet in high school. You know, some people had like.
Well, you
the
are
greatest
now,
years
just
of
so
their
you know.
life.
And we're not.
I didn't
to be
stay
clear.
in touch with anyone at all. I stay in touch with a lot of my friends from college, but I didn't stay in touch with anyone from high school. I remember like last year, was it last year or 2 years ago? Last year I got the invitation to go to the 20-year high school
Yeah,
reunion.
that should have been like 2 years ago, I think. Right.
And I didn't go to the reunion, but then I did wind up making a pretty big movie about a high school reunion.
So it all works out.
Excellent. That's great. I'm trying to think of.
It was called Satan's Cheerleaders, and it was about girls that when they were in high school, they the high school principal was the devil, and he offered them, and they were really bummed about graduating and getting old, so he gave them like a fountain of youth that would only last for like 20 years, and after 20 years they would have to renew it by sacrificing a virgin. So that I made
we did that on last week's call.
Right.
We did that on last week's call. We sacrificed the virgin.
Yeah.
There were none
I made
at
this whole
Riverdale though.
movie. Yeah, about
That's great. That is great.
about a high school reunion. But I didn't go. So did that happen at the high school reunion?
You
Maybe.
should have gone. Maybe it would
It's
have.
Carrie-esque,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't feel like flying back, and I don't know. I don't talk to anyone. I'm like, it's gonna be so weird. I'm just gonna walk in and like, oh, hi guys.
But
Right.
that would
You
have
grew up in
been
River
like,
Ridge as a kid, like when you were young, or were you there like all the time, or just high school?
Let me think. Okay. Yeah, no, I went to the middle school and high school. I went to a different school just in freshman year. My parents sent me to a private school, and then I left. That only lasted for a year.
What school did you go to? A grammar school? Did you go to like Cherry Hill? I don't even
Cherry
know
Hill
what-
girl?
Yes, I did go to Cherry Hill. Yeah. I can't remember what grade I started in. Maybe in 5th grade. Yeah, because
Where'd you move from?
we moved from, I lived in Lowell, Massachusetts. I have
wow.
a really hard time remembering my childhood now.
That
Yeah,
Lowell
you're shouting
was
it
like
out.
an old New England mill town.
Milltown.
Yeah, so I grew up in Lowell, Massachusetts, and then I moved to New Jersey, though, when I was, I think I was 10. So what grade would I have been in when I was 10?
4th or 5th
That's
grade.
about
Yeah, it's like 4th grade, 5th
Okay,
grade.
so yeah, that's when I went to Cherry Hill. Yeah, so then I went to Cherry Hill, and then I went to the middle school.
The junior high.
Yeah, the junior high. But remember, it was middle school, so it was only 7th and 8th grade.
Right. See,
No,
when we
it
were
was
there,
at the time when I went, it was like 7th, 8th, and 9th, I think.
That
right,
was
that's
us
what we
too.
had.
That's-
Junior
that's
high
how it was when we were there.
7th and 9th.
And then, yeah, and then the high school was, but then it changed. Like, I remember when I was a sophomore, that was like the first year they moved the 9th graders. I don't know.
Right. So you were
Right?
you were
That
then
making sense?
there was 9th graders in the high school the first year that you were sophomore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Right. We had all that too. We had junior high and then River. So 6th grade was the end of elementary, Cherry Hill, like you.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's the way it should be. It's the way it is now. I don't agree with that.
What is it now? The 9th graders are in the high
The
school?
9th graders are in high school. They're the freshmen, which is too young to be in high
It's
school.
too young. Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. And that's dangerous. What is it like now?
School. Well, first of all, I was just going to say, so I still have family in town,
Okay.
and the town. I got to tell you, it's a great town. River
Oh, no.
Edge.
I mean, I go back. I mean, my parents still live there, so I go
Your
back to
parents
see
are
them.
still there. That's great.
Yeah. And then my sister, actually, she lives in Hasbrook Heights, and she
Okay, so she's nearby.
has 2 kids now. One day I remember me and my sister were both at my parents, and we took a walk to Riverdale. It was like a Saturday. We just kind of walked around. It was
Yeah.
really weird. It was pretty
Yeah, I
funny.
mean, the schools themselves are great. I mean, it's like a highly touted school system still. The junior high
Yeah.
school is now called Riverdale Middle School. The
Okay.
campuses are real. The high school especially is really nice. They
I mean-
did a huge expansion years ago. River Edge or Oradell, they're
Yeah.
little towns. You know, they're very good, middle Bergen County, nice towns. It's very
Yeah.
not a lot of trouble. They're good. They're really good.
I didn't really, of course, when you're in high school, you don't appreciate anything.
Right.
But I didn't
course not.
realize what a good school it was until later in life, you know? Like, especially in college, you know, like, I didn't realize that it wasn't normal to have such a small class.
Yep.
You know, like, I had a lot of friends that had classes of like 2,000 people, you know,
Yeah.
Right.
and
right.
like half the class dropped out. And like, you know, I remember in high school, like literally every single person I think in the class went to college, and I didn't realize that was like abnormal. I was very
That's true.
close-minded.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like literally everyone. And I remember it was like there was a lot of people that went to Harvard and to Yale and to Princeton and to Stanford, and like, I don't know, I just figured that was normal. I felt like a reject going to Rutgers. I was like,
It got better once you got there. It wasn't that way when we were there.
Hasn't
What?
been the same since, actually. So
When we
after
went there,
you,
it wasn't that, but it got better as it went on. When you went there, it was better than we went there a little bit. anyway.
yeah, like I remember like feeling like I was one of the bad kids, you know,
no,
going
no,
to just
no.
Rutgers, you know, and then I don't know, I didn't even realize once I graduated Rutgers, like people be like, you graduated from Rutgers? That's amazing. I'm like, oh,
That's a
really?
good school.
I thought that's where you went, where you didn't get in anywhere else.
Right. Well,
That's a
used to
good
be.
state
Used to
school.
be. It's not
That
anymore.
was Bergen
Yeah,
Community.
that's true. It's not anymore.
Right, it's the University of Paramus, correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Bergen Community College.
So
There's
when
the
did you?
University of Paramus?
Oh, that's Bergen Community College. That's kind of its nickname.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
The
That
13th
was,
grade.
yeah,
Yeah, with the 13th grade.
Right.
yeah, people I remember would like make jokes in high school, like, oh, he's gonna go to BCC, ha ha ha. Like it was
Right,
so funny for someone to go to
Right.
community college, and like I feel like half my friends went to community college. Like,
Right.
Right.
Right. And a lot of kids now go. A lot of kids now
Yeah,
are going to community college.
That's a good school. You can get all your credits, and then I would go there now and then have an easy time, and then you get your 2 years of credits, and then you
no,
go to
I
another
know.
school.
And pay a lot less.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, I know. And I didn't even like appreciate college when I was there. After I graduated, I was like, God, I had so much at my like disposal, and I barely did anything with it. I mean, I skipped a lot of classes, and I like,
You were in college.
Gotta
I was
run
in
a
college,
website.
yeah.
For college.
But had all the kids that did go to a community college first and then went to college, they were like great students because they were so appreciative, you know?
Right.
They
Yeah,
were
you
like,
know
Actually-
what? That's a good point. You're right.
yeah, they like worked really hard because they were like happy to be there. And we were like, you know, I was like a jerk.
Whatever.
Being like, I don't know.
So Joanna, how long have you been out here in LA?
Oh God, a long time. No,
Since
15,
okay. Yeah.
like 15 years or something now. There was a while where I still had a place in New York, and I was going back and forth. I lived in New York for a while. I mean, I love New York so much. I really didn't want to move to LA, but it just made sense. Like
Yeah,
New
that's
York
where the
is not a good
business is.
place to live if you're like not there all the time, you know, like it,
Right.
Yeah.
You
Upper
lived
city,
in
but yeah,
Brooklyn
you're
when
right.
Brooklyn was like, when it was just kind of starting up, right? Am I right?
Yeah,
Kind of, right?
yeah, it was
Like,
a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I liked
Yeah.
it. My sister lives in Brooklyn, so I go back to visit her pretty often. But yeah, there was a while where I wouldn't say I'm from LA. I'm like, no. And now I'm like, well, I've kind of lived here like most of my adult life at this point. But
Yeah.
I'm
You're
still
here.
like an East Coast person at heart, you know?
You sound
Totally.
like an East Coaster.
Joanna, you mentioned your parents and your sisters. Everyone's okay with you in this business, or not so
Yeah.
much?
I mean, look, I've been in this industry, 20 years at this point.
Right.
So now it just is what it is. It was hard at first, I told my parents right away.
I want to hear about that conversation. How'd that go?
Yeah, I mean, so I remember at first it didn't ever seem like, from the minute me and my like roommate said we were going to start this website for a while, like, it's just like one thing after another, like it just couldn't launch like again and again. So for a while it didn't even seem like it was really going to happen. We kept being like, it's going to launch this month, it's going to launch next month, and then whatever. But then when I knew it was actually launching, I told my parents I was home and I was like, I'm gonna, because I didn't want them to find out from someone else, you know?
Right.
I was like, I'm gonna start a porn site, but I didn't tell them I was.
I gotta go.
Right.
Yeah.
And oops, I get another call, so I gotta go.
Yeah. And then my dad was really uncomfortable, and my mom like barely even understood what a porn site really was.
Good.
And my dad was trying to be gentle and explain it to her. I mean, my mom is Israeli, and she's like, I don't know.
It's like a blue tubular thing. We get it. It's
Right. We
Especially
can relate
at the
on some
time.
other
This
levels.
was way
Correct.
before, this was like when like you really had to be like a very serious pervert to look at porn on the internet. Like it took effort, it took like hours and hours of
was
downloading and
Right.
buffering,
Solid commitment.
Right.
Yeah,
Looking at
it's
it,
not like
watching a
now.
video on the internet back then was like a full day
now,
commitment.
like, I don't know.
Just to get to a
Everyone's mom and
website.
dad is naked on the internet somewhere, But
It's too easy now.
yeah, so I don't know. My mom was upset, I think they didn't really believe me or like not really know what to think. They were also like, my dad just said though, he was like, whatever it is that happens, whatever you do, I need you to finish school. I remember that. And I was glad that he said that because I wouldn't have finished. Because at that point, I remember I actually like, I was in my like bonus round, like I was in my 6th year and I still had like, I don't know, like 12 credits
6
or whatever it
years
was
ruined.
to go. Yeah.
Well, you
I
had a
was
good
like,
time.
I was like, I only have a few more classes and I don't really feel like taking them.
That's
I
2
already
victory
have
laps.
I'm like, I'm a businesswoman now, but my dad was
Right.
like, you have to finish school. So I was like, okay, I'll finish school. And I did. I finished school and I'm glad I did, But I don't know. They were my mom didn't really like it, but she didn't, I've always been kind of like a jerk to my parents. Like I've always like, I never really listened to what they told me to do. So I don't think they knew there really wasn't much I could do. When I make up my mind on something, I make up my mind. I think they were hoping it was a phase that would go away. But I think after like the 10th year went around, they're like, I don't think this is a phase.
Yeah, but they were hoping you wouldn't be successful, but you were successful.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you know what? There was a part of me that's like, I did start to feel bad because like, while my parents were able to swallow it, like once their friends started finding out and other family members, it caused a lot of fights in the family. Like there were certain weddings that like, it was a big drama. Should Joanna be invited? Should Joanna not be invited? And I was
Right.
like, if you want me there, I'll go. So I'd be a jerk if I went, but a jerk if I didn't go too. Because I have like there's like a lot of people in my family. I'm Jewish, I have like on my mom's side of the family, there's like a few rabbis and they're like pretty big time rabbis in their community,
Oh, I would have loved to have been there. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Don't give the rabbis too much credit, though. Anyway,
Right. But
They're
it
still
shows
doing-
and like it's kind of funny. So my husband, his dad is a preacher. And his dad actually, I got my husband into porn. I'm that person. I guess I've been ruining people's lives for a really long
Clearly, an
time.
influential person is right. Okay.
Are we? I think we're the only people you haven't gotten into porn.
I know.
I don't
tried to
think
get
you had
Bill
a chance there, Tommy,
Parcells
okay?
into porn. He didn't.
Right, I was gonna say.
You're going to be on our Parcells call and get him into porn. That's next.
Right, right.
If you get Parcells into porn, you win.
Yeah. But it actually really was very like, I don't know, it really stuck with me. So when I first met my husband, when he was just my boyfriend, I met his family a bunch of times. We all really got along. And he wasn't in porn at this time, just me. And I really hated lying to his family, but he was like, you have to just lie to them. I was like, okay, but it's so weird. I don't have to lie to anyone in my family. It's weird. I don't have to lie to anyone. I've set up my life where I could just be myself all the time. But he's like, because I know when they find out, they're not going to like talk to you anymore. And I was like, so, you know, and he, one day, you know, I was pretty close with that. Well, you know, as close as you are with your boyfriend's family. We celebrated holidays together. We had a good relationship. And then one day he got a call from his dad, and his dad was like, what does Joanna do? What does Joanna do for And then he was like, you seem like you already know, Dad. And then at that point, he was like, and you want to stay with her? And he was like, yeah, I do. And his dad disowned him at that moment. This was almost 10 years ago now. This is like 8 years ago, and they've maybe spoken twice. I tried to invite him to our wedding, and he wouldn't come. And this was before even he was born. I mean, I think he knows by now. So at that point, I was like, well, you may as well just get him the industry.
Holy crap.
Right.
But it made me really, really appreciate my family, you know? I was like, wow, like I really always took it for granted, like how much they stuck with me, you know?
I mean, I wish my wife's family would disown me. You were lucky.
I have to say Mike's right on this issue.
Mike, I think we have to get into porn.
Yeah, now I know. Nobody told me.
Nobody told me.
Well, I know a person.
Yeah. Wow.
Where was your
Now-
husband's family from?
From San Diego.
Oh, all right. Well, that's
You would
pretty-
think they'd be more liberal in San Diego than they would be in River
No,
Edge.
San Diego's conservative.
Oh, San Diego's super
Oh, really?
conservative. Yeah.
Super conservative. Yeah, it's not LA. So were you able to make money from the get-go, Joanna? I'm trying to think, like in 2002, how one made money, because it wasn't like you were doing subscription model, or were you? I don't even know.
No, we were doing subscription. And it's really crazy. And look, I definitely made money right away. Like, you know, it wasn't like a lot. It was after also my business partner, who was my roommate at the time, he was like so good with money, and he always ran the like finances and stuff. So he didn't even want to tell me what we were making, because like he didn't want me to like spend all the money, which I would have, you know? And he actually did that for a really long time, for years and years and years. And it always made me like,
talk with him?
But
You're still in touch with him, right?
oh yeah, he's, you know, my best friend, and we own the whiskey company together. It's kind of weird. It's like he's my husband, but not.
What's the name of the whiskey?
What?
What's the whiskey? What's the name of the
It's
whiskey?
called Doom's Whiskey.
Okay.
Glenn, I think Glenn was trying to get some whiskey for the call.
I tried to get a bottle. I kind of dropped the ball on it, Joanna. I apologize. But it's hard to get it. It's hard to
What's
get
the
it from all the way
distribution
out
like?
here.
Can you get it out east?
You can't, no, not yet. We only have distribution in California right now, but you can order it online, and a bottle can get shipped to you. So if you go to doomswhiskey.com, get one as a holiday gift.
Do we get a
gonna say, for me,
DVD?
Absolutely
Does a DVD come in with the bottle or no?
No. What's a DVD?
Yeah,
You know, whatever.
DVD. What are you, 58 years old, Russell? My
what do you
God.
get? You get a 45 with that? No.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're looking for East Coast distribution, we may know some people to work on that with you. So
Really?
Yeah.
I would love that. I am looking for East Coast, because I really want to. I would love for it to be in like New York and New Jersey.
all right, good. So I'm gonna circle back with you on that. Okay.
Although,
would
be
be great.
careful, Joanna. All their middle names are an article. It's like, you know, Johnny the
Listen,
envelope.
I'm only
and
half
Bobby.
Italian. The other half is Sicilian. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
No,
Oh, thank God.
everybody always thinks I'm Italian. Jews and Italians are really similar.
You know
Yeah,
what?
very
I have a
close.
customer with the
Especially
best
the women.
line. Chicken
Exactly the
soup
same.
is chicken soup.
What was that restaurant? There's a lot of good Italian restaurants in New
Oh, yeah.
Jersey. But
Now I'm
was the
thinking you and Joel must have been at Temple Shalom at the same time at some point, Joel. What do you think?
Yeah, right.
Did you
Did you go to
there?
Temple Shalom?
I didn't go to Temple Shalom. My family was Orthodox. Temple Shalom was Reform. I wanted to go there because it seemed like a lot more fun and like.
So where did you
Right.
go?
It wasn't very religious. So
It was
your parents were serious.
Temple Beth Israel or something. I don't know. Yeah, and we had to walk there, because like we didn't drive on Saturdays and stuff.
Yeah,
so
but,
I remember I always have to walk past Temple Shalom.
Don't the Jews park a couple blocks away and walk the last few blocks?
I
Isn't that the move?
know.
Yeah.
My dad would do that.
Is that right?
Yeah. That's funny though. Temple Shalom was a nice temple. It's still there.
Still there.
It's amazing
It is.
when I go back to visit my mom. Van Son Park really came a long way. It's very nice there. There's like a
It's a
zoo.
good
It's beautiful. But my parents moved into the area because that part of town by Temple Shalom was where all the Jews they brought the houses. Oh, we can walk to temple.
Yeah.
But, you're right. It was it wasn't conservative. It was pretty much just a fun place. There wasn't a lot of religion there.
Yeah, I know. We should have gone there. Even smarter.
I mean, Joel, that's where you first got high, was at Temple Shalom, right?
That is correct. That is
Where you
correct.
first got what?
First got high.
Yeah.
All the woods.
That sounds appropriate. That sounds like it makes sense.
Yeah. It was his 8th birthday.
Yeah. Jews from New Jersey.
Let me tell you, either of those temples beat the shit out of St. Peter's. So just
that's
Oh my
FYI.
God. Wait. Oh my God. I remember in college. Holy shit. Wow. This is coming back to me. Okay. St. Peter's. I remember my friend was over. Was it on Christmas? My birthday is on Christmas. So I'd always
beautiful.
like.
No way.
Yeah.
You're
So I'd
Jesus
always,
Christ.
have
Second-
friends. I am.
You were born on Christmas.
You're the
Yeah.
third coming. You're the third
Yeah.
coming. Rim
Next
shot.
movie.
Coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be here all night. I'll be here all night.
So I
Get
remember
him as a writer.
I was a freshman or a sophomore in college, and my sister was still in high school at Riverdale. Okay. And it must have been Christmas Eve, I think. And I was at my parents' house and my friend came over, like, I don't know what we did, like went to the diner and drank wine. I really don't even know why we were at my parents' house, but it was on like winter break, and we were driving around and we stole the baby Jesus from St. Peter's.
On Christmas Eve?
I don't know why we thought it would be so much fun. And we
Joanna,
stole
sweetheart,
it.
you're going to hell, baby.
Yeah. You're getting an easy pass
See,
to
that
hell.
where-
Yeah.
We completely forgot that story. We just reminded her of it.
Well, now everyone's going to know it was me.
Thank God we had this call so you could unburden yourself.
This was like,
Right.
What
You
the hell
better-
did you
you-
do with the
It was
baby
like-
Jesus?
Joanna,
Yeah,
you
what
better
would do
you
with
better
baby Jesus?
you better pray the Jews
dude,
were
we
right.
put it in my college apartment. We put like dresses on it. I don't know. It was like a character in my house. We dressed it up every day. We tipped it upside down. We put like spikes in it. We made it like all punk. We put safety pins in its ear. I don't know.
So that's when the world went wrong.
Now
Okay, I
that's
got
punk
it.
rock.
That's
Right.
punk.
That's
You
punk
bet.
rock. That's how you.
That's so funny.
That's punk rock in the '90s. Wow.
This became like a town scandal.
I was just going
Like,
to say,
it
my
was like
85-year-old mother, who
Yeah.
goes to St. Peter's almost every day,
Yeah,
you probably remember that.
I can see the
There
headlines.
was, I mean, I was in college, so I wasn't like living in the town, but apparently it was like in a newspaper article, like who stole baby Jesus. Okay, and then my sister told me that in high school they had like an assembly about it. So that's who stole baby
Wow.
Jesus.
Wow. Once
there
again,
like-
the Jews killed Jesus.
Yeah. No, we didn't kill him. We just stole him. We borrowed him.
Yeah, that's what the Romans said.
On Christmas Eve.
Hey, he was yours to begin with, right?
That's
he was
true.
yours.
He belonged to you.
One of yours.
Gee.
I was at my parents' house, so we were like joking around about it, and my dad saw it like in my room. I don't, he saw it like the first night and was like kind of confused, and we were just laughing. But then when everybody started talking about it, he's like, oh, fuck, man.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? So my dad was, my dad rarely got mad at me. I don't think he's ever been as mad at me as he was when he called me to scream at me about, I was like, well, what am I going to do? Should I return it at this point in time?
With safety pins in it, and a spike, and a spike through its chest. I don't think so.
Hairdo.
Right, they just
No.
spike the baby Jesus's hair and like pierce his freaking nipples. Oh my God.
A little tattoo.
So,
Yeah,
Tattoo on his shoulder.
yeah. And then
Wow.
I told him I would bring it back. And I came home one day and I was like, all right, I have it in my car. This is terrible.
In a child seat.
Yeah. I was like, all right, Dad, I'm going to bring it back. But then my dad got too nervous that people, because now this was a scandal. Everybody would
Right.
see me.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Keep it.
Like the
keep
Lindbergh baby, for God's
I
sake.
shouldn't even be saying this, but my dad, we didn't know my dad took it. We don't know what he did with him. I think he like threw it off a bridge.
It's in the Hackensack River right now with T-Dex.
Jesus was not returned. My dad was like, I'll just deal with this. Don't ever do this again.
You got a bag of lime.
I am
nail
taking
it.
the Star of David down from my
He
house.
drove upstate.
Buried in the
I
end
got a
zone
bag of
of
lime.
Giant Stadium.
I got a bag of lime, Joanna. Don't worry about it.
I know how to dig a hole.
I'm remembering this now.
You probably nailed it
I
to
got
a
a
board.
couple of in the box. We'll get it on a boat. And we'll get it on hacky.
Terse, it's in the end zone of Giant Stadium.
Right, exactly. Right. It's in section 103.
Wow.
With
So-
Jimmy
That's the
Hoffa.
greatest Jewish story I've ever
I
heard.
never, please.
Joel's
never
never
came
been
forward.
so in love with his wife.
Now, whoever listens to this is going to know it was me.
I was just going to say, when's the last time you told that story?
2000 or whatever. That was me,
Yeah,
guys.
when
I'm
was the last
sorry
time
I
you
did
told
it.
that
I
story?
did it.
Well, thank you for unburdening yourself. We really appreciate it because that was awesome.
I confessed to a crime on here. This is some big stuff.
It's great.
Oh,
It's
I
just
think
fabulous.
statute of limitations is done with that. I think he'll be going to be all
Wait a
right.
minute. Statute of
Mike-
limitations. We're talking about the Catholic Church. It's not the federal laws here.
Mike, you got to ask your mom about that.
I'm going to, trust me.
Yeah, I guarantee your mom will remember the year that someone stole the baby. The baby
Right?
Jesus.
I think she said. I think she said novenas until Easter.
Right.
She's on
right,
next
right.
week, Joanna.
She's on next week.
I can't. I have never
right, we'll
told
get Rose
anyone
on
that
next week.
story. They had an assembly about it.
Come on next
My
week. We'll
sister
reunite you
told
as
me
Father
this.
O'Reilly.
They were like really torn up about this.
Just so you know, you're not the first Riverdale graduate to unburden themselves about a big incident. Okay.
Really.
We had one guy on 3 weeks ago who started a riot at a Ranger game that spilled out into the streets of Madison Square Garden. And he felt great after telling us. I mean, hopefully you're feeling
did.
better now too.
He did
And
feel
release
better.
the animals advance on, too. The three.
All right, right.
What?
Yeah, well, that's like it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
They released the emu advance on.
Right. Tough topic. So, all right, I have a random question. What was your first tattoo?
This one. This one.
How long ago?
Yeah. It's actually it was it's a Kurt Vonnegut tattoo.
Really?
Yeah, it says so it goes. Yeah.
There you go.
I got that when I was 18.
Wow.
Wow.
And how recent was your last one?
It's been a little while. I haven't been tattooed in a few years, so I can't remember what my last one was. Oh, was it? Me and my husband got matching tattoos after our wedding. Did I get any after that? That was in 2016. I don't remember.
Okay. They look great. You've had a lot of great work done.
Does he have a stage name or does he go by his name too?
Yeah, no, his stage name is Small Hands. It was kind of funny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
he's actually became the most famous porn star right now. It's kind of funny now. In our relationship, I felt like, obviously the first part of our relationship, I was in porn and he wasn't, and it was this whole thing. And then at a certain point, I started to feel like he was in porn and I wasn't, because he got so popular so fast that I felt like I was like the when I was doing more directing and stuff and he was like performing every day. And I was like, now I feel like I'm like the not porn person dating the porn person. It was kind of funny, but
Do you think
he
that
won
both
Male
your
Performer of the Year. He became like the biggest star really fast.
no
like,
shit. Now, do the fans know that you guys are married?
Yeah.
Okay.
They love us.
So is he still working? Is he still working every day?
Yeah, he's working right now. He worked every day for a few years. Now he actually has a pretty big contract with a company where he gets paid a lot of money to work like 10 days a month. He didn't work during the shutdown, but they recently started shooting again with like all these COVID guidelines. We get tested now for COVID literally. I mean, we have to do it within 24 hours of every shoot, 24 or 48 hours. I wind up getting tested for COVID like 4 times a week.
Wow.
You guys are like the safest people out there.
What? Yeah, I know. I always say that. I
No,
feel
it's
that
always
way,
been that way.
in the
Since
industry,
HIV,
we
it's been
get
that way for a
tested
long
for
time.
STDs. Yeah, we get tested for STDs every 14 days. So I've always felt more comfortable, just, I don't know. And I now, like, I see everyone's very, like, half-assed about COVID stuff because everybody's lost their mind, And when I go to a restaurant and I see everybody, like, screaming and yelling with their masks off, like, I feel so much more comfortable around porn because I know everybody's tested,
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So, yeah,
Well,
people are like,
we're going to
Yeah.
have to buy a case of your whiskey to thank you
please
for being on here.
Oh,
We will.
Yeah,
I will.
I assure you we will. We're all big
Guaranteed.
whiskey guys.
Tell
How's
me how
that
to
business
get
been for you?
If you can get distribution out there, that would be amazing.
I'm telling you, I'm going to circle back with you on that.
Okay. It's like, the liquor industry is really difficult. I a few times have just almost given up. I'm like,
Okay.
what do I have to do here, man? This is difficult.
Where
Who do
you
I
at?
have
Where
to
is it
blow to
being
get my
made?
whiskey sold on the East Coast, right?
What?
Who do I have to blow to get my whiskey sold on the East Coast?
I know.
That would be Johnny the envelope.
Right. Where's your whiskey being made?
It's made in Moore, Oklahoma. That's where it's distilled.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we have distribution in California. We're in like a handful of places in LA. I actually worked on it a lot during the shutdown because I was always too busy to really like make it a priority. So I was like, okay, this is my goal. Like this year, while I have all this downtime, I'm gonna like try to figure out how to like push Doom. So I got like a handful more accounts, oddly, during the shutdown. But people were drinking more alcohol during the shutdown than like ever. Like liquor
You got
stores.
that
were
right.
fine.
You don't have to tell us.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
kidding.
That's how this started.
That's exactly right. So
Yeah.
are you putting it into like funky retailers or is it bars?
Yeah,
or
look,
both?
I haven't been in any chains or anything yet. It's very hard, like to get your like a boutique whiskey into like a chain. But we've gotten in a lot of like independent places and bars and restaurants and
Okay.
like mom and pop liquor stores. So
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
talking to a guy the other day who's in the wine business, and he was saying to me that, I mean, it's sort of in the same, maturity in terms of your business. And he was saying like, he doesn't make any money at all from like sales at bars or sales, even at liquor stores. Like all of his money that when he makes any margin, it's in direct sales.
Really?
Oh my
yeah.
Direct
God.
sales meaning like direct to consumer?
Either over the web or like wine clubs, things like that.
Yeah,
He was like, because it's just,
heard about like whiskey clubs and like
There's a lot
of
of
them
them.
I gotta get into one.
Well,
That's good
Glenn,
to know.
Glenn runs
Yeah.
a crew of those, so
Yeah.
I think me and Glenn could put our heads
I think
together.
one
And,
of our
I drink
previous
for a
guests
few of
runs
them.
one.
yeah, I think we can come up with a strategy here, and I'm serious, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, not like just like a club, like there's 3 people at your house. Like there's like real whiskey clubs.
no, there are. And yeah, because that's what this guy does. He does these big, now that it's COVID, he's doing all these like online, like Zoom calls where like, 30, 50, however many people, and they do a tasting. And so they like buy a bottle of wine ahead of time or a couple bottles
Yeah,
and do a
I
tasting.
know. I got to get in on this stuff.
Yeah.
What, Joanna, what
was
made you
very
go into that
spoiled.
business? Why did you go into, do you like whiskey, or why did you go into that business?
You know, when I first met my husband, he was a bartender and he worked at like a craft cocktail bar. And I would just like sit and listen to him and his friends talk about alcohol. Like it was like a whole other level. This was like beyond, you know, I'm like, I don't know. And he'd always like talk about, you know, oh, like I like this whiskey because of the flavor profile and this and this. And I don't know. And I just remember one day being like, I don't know what, that was right around the time when like all the tube sites started happening, you know, like Pornhub and all those websites. And like, you know, a lot of the sales on my website were like going down. And I don't know, it was like one of the times where I was like, oh, maybe I should like take some of my money and like invest it in like a different business. And I was trying to think of which one. And then I was like, I'm going to start an alcohol business. And I was like, I'm going to start a whiskey. And I just remember telling my boyfriend, well, you know, I don't remember, he was still my boyfriend, you know, being like, why don't you help me? So I did all the like business stuff, but he did the recipe. So I found a distiller and he worked with him on it. They went back and forth, like, no, it needs more of this. No, it needs more of that. No, it needs this. So, and he did all the packaging and the logo and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm involved with a lot of those packaging people. So your husband being the craft bartender, I assume he really likes the product, right?
He loves the product, and the product is, I'm telling you, it is amazing. Like that is the one thing anyone I've actually gotten to sit down and try the product is like blown away. They're like, this is like the greatest, cause it's a rye blend. It's like a 70-30 rye blend. Okay. So like people say it's like the
high
best.
in a rye. Read about it.
Yeah. People say it's the best, like blended whiskey that they've ever had. And it's 100 proof and it's like really smooth. So it is really good. Like, I mean, I didn't want to make a product. I've never been into the business model. I feel like there's two ways of doing business, where you just do like make something cheap and do a lot of volume, or you like make something quality and,
and that's where you want to be.
That's where I want to be. I mean, I did that in the porn industry. And I even remember early on, people were like, why don't you just do this? And you can pump out this and you could do this. And I'm like, no, like I always like took a lot of pride in the movies I made and the products I made and the people I hired and the production teams and even down to like all the graphic design and everything on Burning Angel. I was very like meticulous and particular about everything always looking perfect, and I think it's very slimy when people just want to like slap a nice logo on something and sell shit. And I don't think you can do that anymore. Like consumers are smart, like, with social media and everything, people will find out really fast if you're a scam,
Right. And great brands always win.
They do.
And that's the bottom line. But you have to, it doesn't mean it's still not easy to get a slam dunk on a great brand. There's a process,
No, it's a
people
process.
Involved with supplying the packaging side of really funky alcohol brands and some cannabis, by the way, but that's a whole other story. So, no, I'm going to circle back with you. I think it sounds really cool. I love the idea.
Well, look at that.
Why didn't you call it
I'm
Burning
looking for
Angel
investors.
And we're buying. Well,
Glenn,
we're going to start by drinking.
Yeah, Joanna, why didn't you call it Burning Angel whiskey? I mean, that sounds like a great.
I did think that at first, and I did very much come from like, I'm going to take my name and use it and make money everywhere I can. And my husband was very like, it's going to be a joke if you do that, like it won't be respected by other people that drink alcohol. It'll seem too much like a kitschy, but everybody has a successful whiskey. It's not like what whiskey did, what did George Clooney own? He owned something. It wasn't called
Casamigos.
Yeah, it wasn't called George Clooney this and that, but like that he owns it. Or what was the one that he just sold it for like $500 billion or something. Ryan Reynolds, he had what's his Aviator or something?
Aviator.
I didn't know that was Ryan Reynolds. That's funny.
Yeah. He sold it for like $500 million or something.
The Diageos of the world, like I'm involved a lot with cosmetics, and the Estee Lauders of the world will take funky brands started in someone's kitchen.
I know.
Like Smashbox in LA was one of them. And when they're getting ready to launch big, they will come in and take them for a lot of money because it's in the mood.
That's what I want to happen. And if that can be the end of my story, where I then, after selling a porn company, I sold a whiskey company, I'd be very happy. But it just seems a lot.
Mike Terzo is going to make that happen.
I'm going to make that happen. So speaking of your story, and I don't want to keep you on this thing the whole night, but I have to ask this. You mentioned that you've written, I think, a second book.
It's coming out really soon, actually.
About your story because your story is unbelievable. I
Yeah,
can't
you know, I haven't written a memoir yet. I guess I haven't gotten to write the right offer. I would love to write one. Maybe one day, but yeah, I've written the 2 books I've now written are both fiction. It's not about my
Okay.
life. So.
And when Mike says a great story, he means, getting through Mrs. Milch's class.
Yes. Well,
No, I meant the
gotta-
baby Jesus story.
you
That's what
gotta
I'm
see
talking
what-
about.
Oh, right,
yeah,
right.
Yeah,
Right.
that has to be. We need to make a documentary just.
That's got a
about-
chapter
we
right
need to
there,
do a
right?
reenactment, like a true crime story.
Right.
Why I'm going to hell, right?
I took
When was your
Jesus
first
back.
book? When was the first
Stole
book?
baby Jesus.
And did things to him.
Yeah.
It wasn't
yeah,
just like
Baby
you stole
Jesus
it
had,
and
like,
like
a
put it
wild
away.
time. Baby
Right.
Jesus was like an ashtray. Baby Jesus was a bong.
Right. He
Made a
became
bong
like,
out of baby Jesus.
oh, we've all
Yeah,
done
yeah,
that.
we
Come
did.
on, we've all done that.
Oh, yeah,
That's
I mean,
ridiculous.
I did
no
that
big
for a coffee container once, but okay.
Yeah, well, no. I just blew a hit out of Muhammad a few minutes ago. So,
Oh, now you'll be
Yeah, don't do
beheaded
that
in
in
about
France.
15 minutes.
Yeah, you might get beheaded in a moment.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh my
If-
goodness.
Yeah.
Joanna, is there a number of how many movies you've made?
Oh God, I don't know. I mean, I did have to count it. I mean, just from that I produced myself. I mean, when I sold the company, I had to, count it all. What was it? I don't know. 2 times 5. I don't know. I mean, I think in the end it was, I produced. I mean, and that's not just, I've done a lot of scenes for other people. I mean, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds. I mean, I produced over 1,000 scenes,
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I just did the tip of the iceberg so far.
I mean, I wasn't in every single one of those scenes. A lot of them were things I directed, things I produced. I mean, how many movies? I've been in a lot, like, I don't know, like hundreds and hundreds of them. I don't know.
And when
How
you sold the
often do you
business,
do that on a daily, like, how often do you work on a daily basis? Say at your height, like every other day, every day?
I mean, some girl, yeah. I mean, my husband, he worked like seriously every day for a few years, and he would still be working every day if he didn't get that contract. He probably would be. Guys actually, but yeah, a lot of girls, they work every single day. Since I with me owning the business and stuff, and I only worked for myself for a good 12 or 13 years until then I started working for other people. So I wasn't doing, like, I wasn't like on set every single day, but a lot of girls, they do it every day. I feel like a girl will work, like a popular girl, she'll come in, she will work every single day for a good, she could keep that going for like 3 or 4 years, and then after that she'll start to slow down and she'll do more stuff, because girls make money off doing a lot of things that guys don't, like, like feature dancing tours, right, or like signings, right, and, but now most of the girls, which is what I'm doing now, most of the money is made on OnlyFans. I don't know if you know what OnlyFans is. Yeah. It's so weird.
It's like, it's weird because I can't now anymore at 58 get it up more than 4 or 5 times a day. Myself.
It's very impressive.
Like,
sounds like you missed out on a really good job.
I'm just,
you had a really good living here.
Yeah. I mean, good day sick. You know what I mean. It's hard. It's
yeah.
Anyway.
No, it's not.
No. Oh, wait a minute. It's
not at all.
That's why I don't drink a lot of whiskey. Thank you.
You drink that Niagara liquid. Great drink.
Hey,
yeah.
Don't knock the pill.
Husband?
Don't knock that blue little pill.
How old's your husband? How does he work every day? How is that possible?
He's 39. I'm going to be 40 next month. Yeah, my husband is 39.
Russell, she said
You
every
look
day, not every
fantastic,
hour.
Joanna. Holy shit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, Los Angeles makes it very easy to stay young looking forever.
Well, you have
they
to.
do Botox on like at the gas station here.
I mean,
They're like,
Tom's
"Do you
only
want-
37. Look at him. He looks like shit. So
I look great. I look great. They
getting
throw
your
you out.
oil
They
changed
throw you
today?
out. They throw you out at 60. I've got about a year and a half left.
in Los Angeles, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you go to get your car wash, and they're like, "Do you need lip injections with your car wash?"
No, you go
Like,
to lunch
Los
with people
Angeles
here.
is like,
Yeah, you go to lunch here, and everybody talks about work. Like, what work have you had done? I don't know. I had my gallbladder out.
Well, let's face it. You've had like such a great life, and that's a nice career. That's a lot more less stress than regular jobs.
Oh, thanks, Joel. Oh, you're talking to Joanna. I'm sorry.
I mean,
No.
no, it was very stressful. Running a business is really difficult.
Has to be super stressful. Super stressful.
Super stressful. And, whether it's porn or not, I mean, I started to be that person that, I'm sure anyone who runs a business can identify with. When your friends start complaining about their jobs, you start to think like, I don't know, like, it sounds like you're a pretty shitty employee and your boss is like being good to you,
Right.
know, like how much do you get paid? Like, what do you
Stop
know,
everything.
being
Stop
a boss, it sucks because you're the boss. Like, everybody hates the boss,
Seriously.
So when you sold the business, were you trying to sell it? Were you ready, or did an offer just come along?
The offer came along, and
Hi, Susan.
Hello.
Oh, for the love of Christ.
Susan, Joanna,
Just
Susan.
Say hi.
Susan,
I
Joanna,
just finished
Joanna,
6
Susan.
parent-teacher conferences, and I'm having a glass of wine, and I just came to say hello.
Okay.
And now I'm leaving.
Say hello to
Stick
Joanna.
around.
She's Jewish. She's
Hi.
Jewish from River Edge.
Oh, we must
a
know
nice
each other.
Jewish
You
girl.
probably do know each other. Does she look familiar?
This
Did
has
you
to
grow up
stop.
Orthodox, Susan?
Am I Orthodox? No. No,
Okay.
I married a Catholic. How Orthodox could I be?
That's a good point. And you married Russell. Russell's
Have
Catholic.
fun, everyone.
Thanks.
I'm
It's
done.
nice to meet you.
Bye.
Bye. She's so lovely.
Thank God that.
Aw.
Thank God that's over.
I can hear
See what
you.
gave permission to.
Yeah, thank God that's over.
She just told you you're number one, Tommy.
I love it. I love it.
Anyway, so when you sold the business,
Mhm.
you were looking to sell, something came
No, I
along.
wasn't. I originally went in, I wasn't really looking to sell, but I was definitely like getting to the point where I'm like, how much longer can I keep holding this together? Like, it was kind of getting to the point where I'm like, I either need like a $5 million like investment, or I need to like figure out an end game. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't really know, because like for a while, like, owning a business, you don't care about anything personal at all. Like, my entire house was like just a studio, basically. I shot in my house all the time. Like, my husband was doing the editing, and I don't know, just like every dollar I made went back into like a movie. Like, I don't know, you live your life where everything goes back into the business. And like, at a certain point, which is like really fun when you're in your 20s and your early 30s. And then at a certain point, I'm like, I'd like to do like normal things, like take a vacation every
Have a
once
life.
in a
Imagine that.
while.
Right. And,
Yeah.
and
Maybe
I
buy
think
a house one day, or, it's just like, I don't know.
I think small business owners are famous for being so close to what they do and like losing objectivity that
No, I know.
they
You do.
they never think about what's next, what the end game is, and when is
I
the
know.
time to actually get out. You know what I mean?
I know. So I
That
was
can
kind
become
of getting
toxic.
to the point where I was like, because the business was doing okay. Like, it was not like some,
Yep.
billion-dollar enterprise. It
Right.
was doing well. My bills were paid. I had a savings account. I had, I lived decently in LA. Like living decently in LA is still very difficult. I was not living.
It's amazing to do that.
So I was doing well, but like I kind of knew at a certain point, I'm like, there's no way to go but down. Like, I kind of did everything I could do, and it was just like a plateau for a few years, and and the plateau is starting to sink a little bit, but
Yeah.
so I wasn't necessarily looking to sell, I thought maybe I could get like a partner or something, or just, figure out how to like expand it, or maybe get some investment money in or something. And then I don't know. And then the offer came along. So it just, I guess the stars were aligned. And at first having a business, it's like your baby, like, and like, at first I was like, no. And then I was like, no, that's not enough money. Cause in your brain, you think your business is worth $1 zillion, and then I actually talked to a few different friends of mine in the industry. One of them had actually bought another, a good friend. He was actually our DVD distributor at the time. He had bought a studio a few years before, and that studio was pretty big time. And he told me what he bought that studio for, and it was pretty close to what my offer was. And I was like, oh, if that studio sold for that much and I'm getting an offer for this much, like, this is a good offer. You know what I mean? Because like the studio that he bought was like bigger than mine, And then I started telling other people, and everybody was like, Joanna, take that and run. Like when I told like just a few of my older industry peers who have been around for longer than me, they're like, Joanna, you have to do this, and I'm like, oh, it just feels so weird to like, it won't be mine anymore. What if they fuck up the brand? People are like, who cares? Take the money.
Get out, take your money. It won't be you anymore. Take it and go.
And I was like, but what if they like start making the website, and I'm like, I'm going to make sure that I get creative control and this and that. And then like, people are like, Joanna, please just do this. And, I talked to a lot of people about it, both in and out of porn. And I knew I was like, it was like a good offer. And I also knew, I'm like, I don't think we're going to get this again. And I would really hate for the end of the story for this business to be going out of business. I want to end this as we sold, And I'll admit, at first, the first like 6 months, it was really hard for me. And it was the worst kind of pain because no one felt bad for me because I just bought a really nice house. I bought a Porsche. I'm driving around living my life, and I'm like, so no one felt bad for me. I'm like, but I don't have like creative control over the movies anymore. And people are like, suck, like, fuck you. I don't care,
Right.
And I like, it was hard, and it was hard like the first, like, because of course when the contracts are being signed, they tell you everything you want to hear, and it's going to be great, and you're going to really be a part of this company, and we're going to include you in every decision, and blah blah blah. And then the first month, none of that happened. They start doing things like they start like moving things around on the website, and they whatever.
Yeah, you're out.
They start like trying to, at least they still give me creative control on production, but I can't decide on the budgets, and I can't decide when things come out, and I can't decide on the marketing, and like, you know what I mean? So I don't have,
How long are you committed to them to work for them?
Actually, literally, this is my last month.
No shit.
It's funny. Yeah, because I signed a 2-year contract to have a salary. And then I actually, because during the shutdown, we couldn't shoot anything. So I kind of missed out on a good 6 months of the contract. But so they said, because they're not sure of what the future is going to be and this and that, like, if, they said they didn't want to sign another contract, but I'm still now, they're like, we'd like you to still work for us a couple of days a month. So I'm still direct, like just the other day I directed for Burning Angel. So, but it went from being like 10 days a month to 6 days a month. Now it's 3 days a month.
Down.
That's perfect.
Yeah. And I have to be okay with the fact that one day they might just stop.
Right.
And I have to be okay with that.
Don't you have your own website though? Do you have your own website?
Well, yeah,
Angel?
Now I do my OnlyFans. OnlyFans is the new website.
Okay.
So now actually, because OnlyFans is kind of like the new thing in porn, so there was a while where I was unsure if I made the right decision, and now I am 100%, especially after the shutdown and where the industry is now.
You got out at the right time. You got out at the right time.
I'm glad. I'm
Well,
so
well-
glad I didn't listen to my heart and I listened to my brain.
Speaking
way to
of
do it.
getting out, I have got to jump, guys.
Are you
dinner
kidding
is on
me?
the table. I do.
Really?
Joanna, it was great to meet you.
It was nice to meet you.
And I wish you nothing but the best. And I'm looking forward to tasting Doom.
Yeah, Doom's whiskey. It's called Doom's whiskey. DOOMS. Yeah.
There's a case that will be bought, and you'll know it's this group.
Cool.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Tom, peace. Say
Yeah,
hi
I
to
know. How
Cal.
long have we even been here for? It's been forever.
Peace. Take care, guys.
Tom.
Bye.
Good night.
Later.
Well, this has been great. I've got my
This was
list
a
of
lot of
questions
fun,
worked out.
actually.
You
I
have a
was-
lot to be proud of, young lady.
Thank
And
you.
there's a
Thank you,
reason
guys.
why you're the most notable Riverdale graduate. Now we all know it. And it's not just the porn stuff. Good for you.
We owe it all to Mrs. Milch.
That's it. Karen
And-
Mills.
And you know, most
We gotta
importantly,
get
we owe
her
it all
on
to
there.
Can
Jesus.
we get Mrs. Milch on a Thursday night cocktail? You know,
Yeah,
we have to-
Joanna, will you come back if Mrs. Milch comes on just for a little bit?
Yes, I will. You know what? I think she'd be really happy to know that I wrote a book because I was like the superstar of the creative writing class. I was.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet we can pull that off, Glenn.
Okay, that would be really
I know I
amazing.
can.
Joanna,
There
I
you
have
go.
a personal question for you. When did you lose your virginity?
I didn't lose it till I was 19 years old. Isn't that crazy?
College.
Yeah, in college, not in high school.
So in
Nobody
college,
really
I have to
liked
ask the
me in
next
high
question.
school.
Was it your business partner? Your roommate?
No.
Okay.
No. We've always just been friends.
Okay. Now, was that original partner still part of the business until 2 years ago?
Yeah, and we own the whiskey together too. So
Oh, you
he's like
do?
my
Oh,
business
you're lucky.
partner.
That's great.
Yeah.
And
Wait,
he's
is
a
he
my-
in
great
the, is
guy.
he in the
husband
industry
always-
or I don't know? Is he in the industry
Who?
or no? Your partner. I mean, like
Yes.
he's not.
He
He's not
was
a
wasn't
there.
performer.
on camera, but he was,
On the
you know,
business
behind the
side.
scenes. So yeah,
No, that's
he
what I
worked-
meant. No, he's not
Yeah.
on camera.
No,
But
he
he's always
wasn't.
been with you the whole time.
He
What?
helped you build your business all these years.
Right?
Yeah,
And
I
is he
was
a Jersey
the
guy?
creative person.
He
He
went to
was
Rutgers.
he went to Rutgers. Yeah.
Was
Yeah, they
he a
put him in
Jersey
the-
guy?
He was from Long Island.
All right.
Same thing. Long Island, Jersey, very close.
Exactly. He was from the New Jersey of New York.
It's like Jewish Italian, the same thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
My lovely wife was from Long Island.
See, there's a lot of good people from Long Island. I actually only went to Long Island like once in my life. I think there was
Yeah,
no
okay.
need to live there. Yeah.
You're not missing much but traffic.
Yeah. Unless you
Yeah, right.
work and play there. there's
Takes a
not
long
much.
time to get off of it once you're on there. Takes like
Yeah.
5 hours.
It's a great place to live, work, and play.
Yeah. I guess to commute to New York, but
Absolutely.
New Jersey's better. New Jersey's better.
Jersey's the
New
best.
Jersey's better. That a
Jersey's
girl. Exactly.
California's a lot
I'm
better,
gonna go
though,
to
isn't
Barnes
it?
and Noble and order your book. I definitely. I want to. So you, it's a story.
What?
Your fiction book. Your book is just it's a story.
Yeah, I have one out already. You can get it on Amazon. It's called Night Shift. And then I have another one coming out. It's going to be available for pre-order for the holidays, and it's called Club 42.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a erotic fiction. So you can get it. I don't know.
Like,
There's the books. It was a
absolutely.
bestseller.
Really?
Yeah,
So it did well. That's great.
it did well. Yeah, I've done a few things, I guess.
I saw some of your music videos, Joanna.
Oh wow! Yeah, that's that. Me and my husband made them together.
They're pretty funny. They're pretty good. And the songs are not bad. They're pretty good songs.
Which one did
know?
you see? The alien one?
I saw Fish Food, and I
Oh
saw
my God,
Give
that
Me.
was really funny. Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. And I saw Give Me Some Pants, which is funny.
Aw, that was really fun. Yeah. They were just songs that we made for movies, and then we like made music videos and put them on YouTube.
Oh, it's funny. They're fun. They're good. They're not bad.
Thank you.
Glenn really did his research.
I guess so.
I research. Why not?
Absolutely.
I didn't.
We do our
Enjoyed a
homework.
very
I love
nice
it.
video last night where you were filming your friend. You were behind. You were in the video in the movie, like with your camera, following her around with a guy.
Me?
Yeah, you were holding the camera and just telling her what to do in the film.
In
With
the
her
film.
friend, it was you and your friend. She's very nice, and then the guy.
Lovely.
It's every other video.
Yeah, I was like, well, do people have sex in it? Is this a
Oh yeah,
porno?
totally. You were filming your friend having sex with the guy, and then you came in.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that was like a line we had. You saw me behind the camera and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you were talking to her during it. Like, it was actually, that was the plot, I guess, that you were talking.
Yeah. Well,
It was very good.
I hope you enjoyed it. Who
I
was
really
the
did.
girl?
She seemed like a good friend of yours, and she said, when you took your clothes off, she's like, "Oh, it's the first time I've ever seen you naked."
I know.
Both
I don't
said the
remember.
same thing.
Like,
Like,
I read a lot of-
Joanna,
sounds
when
like
we
it was
were
a lovely
watching
time.
porn, it was like Peter North and Christy Canyons, and I don't
No,
know.
I know Peter North. I've met him a few times. Christy Canyon is a friend of mine, actually.
No
Really?
kidding.
Yeah. I used to
Like-
have a radio show on the same radio station she had a radio show on. So and my show was right after hers, so I'd always see her. But yeah, we go way back. Christy is awesome. She's very smart.
But that was like,
Yeah.
they were like at the height of the business back then, right? Like,
Yeah, they are like
come
my elders in porn.
Porn elders. I like that.
Yeah.
my favorite was this girl, Candy Evans. I don't think she did
I don't know who
many
she is. That's
films, but she was, oh, what a body.
funny. Yeah, I guess I never heard of her.
All right. Well, we've got some to-dos here. One of them is I'm going to circle back with you on East Coast distribution.
Yeah,
And
please
we're
do.
going to work on the Mrs. Milch thing because I think that could
Yeah,
be awesome.
that would be
That'd be so much fun.
amazing.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I think my
Well,
younger sister was a Mrs. Milch person. I might even have a niece or nephew. She was there a long time because she was young when we were there, right?
She lived right down the street from me. You know that? She
Really?
lived right on like
I
Beechwood
didn't
or
know
something
that.
like
aw,
That's so cool.
that's so cool.
Well, I'm sure she'd be
Well, that
very
would
proud
really
of
be
your work.
amazing. I would love to see her.
Well, we will work on that.
Okay.
This has been
Well,
an
guys,
absolute ball. Thank you for
that was
joining
really fun. That was
Yeah,
us.
it was
Great,
great.
as we
A
knew
very
you
good
would
time.
be. And
that.
Yeah.
We knew you'd be awesome, and you're great. You're better than
Well,
better
thank
than you
you.
expected.
Was I
Right.
better than Bill Parcells?
we don't want Bill Parcells.
We don't want Bill
You get him,
Parcells.
yeah.
We haven't
You
had
think Bill
Bill
Parcells is going to be like you? Bill Parcells sucks.
Well, when is this gonna go live, or when? I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
I'm gonna drop it on YouTube. When I do, I'll let you know.
Okay, let me know.
Yeah, I will. Give me a couple days. I'll
I
get
need
it up
to
there.
prepare my family for the baby Jesus story going on.
After all you've done, you've got to prepare him for the baby Jesus story. That is the best.
That's
The
the best.
family secret.
Is there anything else that we need to know?
Right,
Good.
right,
Yeah.
right.
I think that's it.
All right. I'm not going to tell my mother about it, just so you know. I don't want her to think
Oh,
we're with
God,
you.
you gotta ask Rose.
I'm going to ask her.
Oh, she'll know. Are you kidding?
She'll know.
I can see the daggers coming out of her eyes right now.
Oh my God. All right, guys. Well, thank you. That was really
Guys,
fun.
thanks, Joanna. A lot of
Okay.
fun. Really appreciate it.
Okay, you guys
Take
have
care.
a good
Stay well.
night. Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye, Joe.